Hello everybody, this is Jack from tofluency.com along with
Kate.
And today in this English lesson, this English conversation, we are going to talk about gifts. And it was your idea to do this topic.
Yes.
How would you like to start?
Sure. Well, just a little bit of background about what's going on in our life right now. It is almost Thanksgiving, which means that after Thanksgiving is kind of the official beginning of the Christmas season. And there's the day after Thanksgiving is called Black Friday because so many people go shopping for Christmas gifts, and there are sales and there's just all sorts of mayhem and chaos. But we have to get our gifts a little bit early this year because we're going to spend the holiday with your family in the UK.
Yeah.
And so we're doing something a little bit different for gift giving this year, which is something that we tried last year, which was really fun.
Yeah, it's Secret Santa. And this is where a group of people come together and everyone has to buy a gift for someone else. But you don't know who is getting your gift, your present.
Yeah.
So it's like this lottery, isn't it, really? Who you're going to get a gift for. And we did this last year when we went on vacation to Florida. We spent Christmas in Florida. Who did you have to buy a present for?
For your mother.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it because I feel like I've gotten to know her so well, and she has spent time at our house helping us take care of the kids, especially when they were newborns. And it was just nice to have an opportunity to really think about her and think about what she would like and buy all of these presents for her.
What did you get her?
I got her a pair of cozy slippers, a book about a nurse getting trained in Yorkshire around the same time that your mom became a nurse. So that was really neat. And I think I got her some jewelry, and there might have been another thing or two, but I just loved being able to really concentrate on one person and maybe spend a little bit more money and time thinking about it versus trying to think about 5 or 10 or 15 people and, try to budget how much to spend on each of them.
It was helpful too because everyone was traveling. Yeah. And my family came on the plane. So they couldn't take a lot of things back with them. But
they did try to bring a lot of presents especially for the kids, for Thomas and Emma, because they weren't part of the gift draw. But I so badly want to talk about my Secret Santa from this year, but it's still a secret.
Yeah, that's right. You can't tell everyone.
Because they could be watching.
Yeah. If you're watching this after Christmas, then check out the comment section because we can leave a comment telling people what we got everyone. Yeah. And last year, I'll actually just show this. Last year, my mum got me, and she got this.
It's just amazing.
She's really cool.
Yeah, and I don't know, can you see the logo in there?
Yeah.
That's the Fluency logo, and that's Jack.
Yeah. So she had somebody make that, an artist near where she lives. Yeah. It's really cool.
Is that your favorite present that you've gotten recently?
I think so. Yeah. Well, we just decided to do this conversation. And I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to forget what people got me and the questions that are going to come up.
Jack, you remember all the presents that I've gotten you?
Of course. So I think it's evident that you really like getting gifts.
I do.
And you like that whole process.
I love it.
And this year you got really excited about getting gifts again.
Yeah, and about the Secret Santa draw because you were the one person who hadn't put their name in, and so I was texting you constantly from just different rooms in the house while we were home together, and I was putting the baby down or doing some laundry or something. And I was, Jack, did you enter the drawing yet? Did you enter the drawing?
Yeah. Got a little bit too much.
No,
but it was my fault because I should have done that earlier.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't find the email. But anyway. We're going to do it again this year. You're really excited about it.
Yes.
I, on the other hand, I'm excited, but I like to leave things to the last minute, which means wait until just before the deadline to get something.
But you do really amazing presents.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think but I need that immediate deadline to give me the motivation and the excitement to get gifts.
Yeah, and I feel I'm the same way when it's something that I'm not really excited about. But when it's something that I'm really excited about, I can't do it fast enough. And I just love going shopping for other people that I love. Yeah.
You do most of it online now,
yes,
right?
I do. And I like shopping in person better because I like to wander through a shop and, I like to feel things and talk to people and come up with it, but that's just not so practical with a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier online.
It is, yeah.
I tend to do it online, although this year I might get the gift in Manchester.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good idea. Because you can also discreetly ask about the person that you have and what the person might like. This is going to be dangerous.
I know, it is. It is.
But do you like shopping for other people?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
This surprises me.
The problem is, I like to get people, and I like to receive gifts that are practical.
Right.
You're more whimsical.
I am.
Which means...
anything that's like delightful and a little bit strange and not necessarily practical.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you like to... What's an example of a whimsical gift?
Just anything that's not strictly necessary. I feel like that tray is on the border of something whimsical, even though you really like it. Because it's hand-painted, it's artistic, it's not something that you need to have.
Yeah.
But also things that have, like, imaginary quality to them are interesting, so... And I love this time of year because it is so full of things that are whimsical.
Definitely.
Like houses made out of cookies. There's no other time of year that you see that. And I love it.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. I'll leave a link in the description so you know what we're talking about. Well, you can explain briefly the houses made out of.
Oh, yeah, gingerbread houses.
Gingerbread houses.
And we actually live in a town here in Asheville where they have a huge gingerbread display and contest at a local hotel, and it is just incredibly elaborate. And I think we went one year.
I've never been.
Maybe we should make it a goal to go this year.
Yeah. Well, we just went. Well, I just went to the holiday parade, which was yesterday. You were sick.
I was, yeah.
And
feeling under the weather.
It was great. It was so much fun. The different floats that go down the road, marching bands play music, and a lot of local businesses do this.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I feel like we're at an age, too, where our son is 4, and he's starting to understand the excitement and the anticipation. Last year, you could tell him that something was happening, and you'd say, oh, in 2 weeks, it's going to be this holiday, or this is going to happen. And he would think that it would be happening, in the next minute. So it was hard to build that anticipation and hard to kind of explain the traditions and what would happen. And this year, I think he's really going to get it. And he and his friends have been talking a lot about Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Which is a big tradition that we are going to keep doing with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because you just don't know if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But then... it's impossible to ignore it.
Yeah.
In the UK, people tend to say Father Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, over Santa Claus. But this is... when did you realise, and for children that are watching, maybe turn this off.
Yeah.
When did you realise Santa Claus wasn't real?
I think it was probably when I was around 6 or 7 maybe, or I had a strong suspicion that he wasn't real. But I remember as a kid coming to this realization and then thinking, hold on a second. I have a really good thing going here. I just put out a plate of cookies and a stocking, and it gets filled with presents. I don't need to tell my parents that I don't believe in Santa Claus anymore.
Yeah, this is a really cool thing.
Yeah, this is a great thing. I think that my mother actually really struggled to shop as Santa Claus for us when we were little, because my mother, she is very practical.
Yeah, she is.
She's very practical. And so our stockings would be filled with like pencils and socks.
We always had a tangerine in our stocking.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
always.
that seems so like classic and old fashioned. I feel like now there's a lot of pressure to really go way over the top. Like a tangerine is not something that you go, oh wow, this is such a special treat.
Going back to Santa, I remember one year my cousins always came to our house for Christmas. And I knew Santa wasn't real, I was like, I'm getting older now.
How old were you?
Probably, I can't remember.
Okay.
But anyway, so my mum said, don't ruin it for Patrick. Patrick is my cousin who is about 2 years younger. So Patrick came in and I said to him, like, so what's Santa going to get you this year? And Patrick just said, it's not real. It's like, whoa, okay.
My mom told this story. I have cousins that are older than me, maybe like 10 years older or so. And it was actually at my parents' house where my cousin Nathan found out that Santa Claus wasn't real. Because his family had always done this elaborate thing with a plate of cookies, and Santa would leave a lot of crumbs and, a smudge on the milk glass or something like that. And so my parents, this was before they had kids, were so eager to keep that magic alive and have this wonderful experience where Santa Claus would find him at their house while they were visiting and bring him presents. And so they set everything up all perfectly with the crumbs on the plate and the milk exactly the way that it should be, so that he would know that Santa had found him and it was the same Santa, and Santa was real, and Santa goes all over the world and all of that. And then we had a golden retriever at the time named Misty, and of course a plate of cookie crumbs in a milk glass. Misty came and cleaned it completely. And the next morning when my cousin woke up, he saw that there were presents in his stocking from Santa, but that the plate was completely clean. And he burst into tears and said, I knew it, Santa wasn't real, it's not the same as it would be at home. And the ironic thing was that they'd left all the crumbs and done all the work, but Misty got to it.
Wow. Wow.
I know. Oh. I know.
It's quite upsetting, isn't it?
It is. You just want them to have that magical experience of believing that, the universe will just bring them presents. And
only if they're good, though.
Well, that's theoretically what happens, but I feel like I couldn't imagine our son at 4 years old doing something so naughty that we wouldn't.
Well, you use it for leverage.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, you're like, hey, it's Christmas season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more story about Santa. I remember being in the school playground, and we were all talking about Santa, and we were lining up to go inside, and there was one kid who just said, oh, Santa isn't real. But no one believed him. We were just arguing with him, saying, well, of course he's real. Of course he's real.
How else would this happen? Yeah.
But he said he overheard his parents talking about it.
Oh, now that we're parents, the pressure is on.
Yeah, I know, because you have to keep up that whole thing. Going back to gifts. When it was your birthday, did you prefer a gift or money?
I think a gift every time, because I grew up in a way that was a little bit sheltered. I didn't have that many things that I could practically spend money on, and there was a lot of pressure to save the money.
Right.
And so
yeah,
I never felt that when I got money that it was mine to spend.
Right.
And so if I had a gift, then it would be more.
Yeah. I preferred the money.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What did you like to do with it?
Well, it depended on the age.
Mm-hmm.
But at times it was like wrestling stickers.
Ooh.
Football stickers.
I would not want any of those things. No.
No?
Shockingly.
You didn't get wrestling stickers?
I didn't get wrestling stickers.
Yeah, football stickers, wrestling stickers. I can't really remember what else I got. I went through a stage of saving money too. Mm-hmm. And I used to like saving money. My sister and I had these little piggy banks, mm-hmm. which were actual piggies. And we got into a little bit of a debate, an argument, when we were older because mm-hmm. they came from the bank.
Okay.
And they became collector's items.
Oh.
And they were worth a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to argue about who had which one.
Oh.
And I swear I had that little piggy. But Rebecca thought that she had it. But I went through a stage of saving money. And then, looking back, I probably just spent it on whatever was popular back then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You were very
Computer
trendy.
Games. Trendy?
Yeah, you were. Or you were into all the trends.
Yeah. I think looking back, you wouldn't call me trendy. But that was what was popular at the time.
I mean, would you be trendy by today's standards? No. I feel like right now, people who were that age would have, brightly colored hair and really fashionable, kind of cutting edge clothes. And we definitely didn't have any of that. I think that probably when I was younger, they just started coming out with nail polish that wasn't like red and pink. And that was a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And everybody wanted to have blue nail polish. That was like the trendiest thing that you could possibly have. And I actually sent my dad to get cool nail polish for a friend's birthday party. And he got like a brown color. And it was so disappointing because I was like, here, have this nail polish. It's so cool. But it was brown. And her big brother made fun of me.
I was thinking about the colour brown the other day because no one says, oh, brown's my favourite colour. Mm-hmm. Wrapping gifts.
Yes.
Wow. Can you sense that excitement? I don't like wrapping presents. I used to love it. Mm-hmm. But now I just don't like doing it. But you really
I don't really like wrapping gifts either. Just kidding. I love it.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Yeah.
What is the process for you of having a present and giving it to someone? What mm-hmm. do you do to that present?
To that present?
To that gift or present?
What do I do to it? Mm-hmm. So I have a closet and a shelf with mm-hmm. wrapping paper, as you know. The supplies dwindled down a lot when we moved, so we had to give some presents that were not ideally wrapped for the last year. I would like wrap them up in newspaper or like an old paper bag, but that is changing. Mm-hmm. We're back to where we should be. So I have a book of pattern paper and I have the rolls of wrapping paper. I have gift bags. Mm-hmm. I have sparkly tissue paper. I have bows. So it just depends on the shape of the present. Yeah. A lot of times we go with the gift bag because it's easier, but there's something very pleasing about perfectly wrapping something that's rectangular and folding in the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That type of thing I do like.
You do?
Well, tolerate. I think when it comes down to when you say putting tissue paper in as well, mm-hmm. wrapping it with a ribbon, and then attaching the card in the right way, I just get it wrong every time. Therefore, I don't really like doing it.
There's this really funny scene in Love Actually where Rowan Atkinson is wrapping up a present in the department store, and he's sprinkling in confetti, and it's really awkward because the character doesn't want him to be spending time. He's trying to do it subtly because he shouldn't be buying this present.
Yeah.
And instead he's just going all out. And I feel like that is me every time that we're late to go to a birthday party and I want to wrap the present. And you're saying, come on, let's go.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm throwing in
that's
glitter
what it
and
feels
tissue
like.
paper and trying to find the perfect thing and the right card. But yeah, I don't know. It does get discouraging sometimes because, you know, it's all just going to go in the trash. But yeah.
Cool. Shall we wrap it up?
Oh, yeah, sure. I could wrap it up.
Okay, well, we've talked about a lot in this one.
Yeah.
A lot. And
I could still talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was making mental notes throughout, but I'm going to go through this video and leave all the words and phrases that we used below. You can find all those words and phrases in the description. And, time for Kate's question.
Yes. And you might have some too. My question is, hold on. Let me think. What is your favorite gift that you have given or received? And do you have any interesting holiday traditions where you are?
Very cool. Yeah. So a favorite gift that you have given someone or received, and holiday traditions. Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, then please like and share. And also, be sure to check out my free book, The 5-Step Plan for English Fluency.
And there's also something that I would like to mention because it has been so amazing. Sometimes you'll get presents from people who are in the in your community or who you've worked with through your programs, and that just, you know, it just means so much to us. We're not asking for presents. Please don't feel that you have to send anything, but for the people who have taken the time and effort to send something thoughtful, like, that's really touched our hearts in a big
definitely.
way.
Yeah. Well, good. Okay, bye for now.